Blessed are we, magical people. All right. So I missed everyone. I wanted to do a live experience, a live video. And we're going to talk about Mercury retrograde in Cancer. We're going to do a reading because I love doing readings. I love sharing cards. So that's what we'll do. We'll have fun. We'll enjoy. Again, remember, this is our time together. This is our co-creative space. This is our atmosphere that we get to uplift and share and make what we want it, right? So enjoy yourself. Take some time to check in. Well, hello, Stella Jean. Welcome. And we're going to work with Metamorphosis Oracle, okay? We are going to do that. We're going to see the way I'm going to do it, and just explaining it before we get into it. I'm going to pull three stacks. I'll have you choose your stack, 2 cards per stack. The first card is going to be about what's being unearthed and what has been unearthed during this Mercury retrograde for us. And then the second part of that stack, the second card, is going to be about like how can we apply this, what can we do, like what lessons can we take from this, and how can we learn to apply to create a better experience for us. So hopefully that makes sense, but we're going to enjoy it, we're going to have fun, and yeah, yeah, Mercury will go direct on the 12th. So I figured that this is a really nope, just started. You're absolutely here, Mindy, and we just started, so no worries. I got distracted. I started having a conversation with my fiance, and then we had coffee, and I got distracted. Whoops. But yeah, so it's a perfect time for us to discuss Mercury retrograde, the lessons that we've been learning. So let me know in the comment section. Let me know, how has your Mercury retrograde experience been? Let me know. Has it been exciting, adventurous? Has it been challenging? Has it been, well, fuck it all? You know, who knows? You know. And this coffee is starting to kick in, so if I act a little cray-cray, that's why. So yeah. So take some time, y'all. Take some time. Well, hello, Tanya. Hello, Citrine, Mindy, Jennifer, Jade, Marley, beautiful Marley, Amy, Echo. Good to see you. So take some time to focus on your breathing. Apparently, this is where we're breathing. Our tits. Focus on your heartbeat. Focus on tuning in with yourself. Call in your spirits, your guides, your ancestors, your allies. Call in all the good shit, your gods, and be present with yourself, right? Allow for that energy to just tune in with yourself. You know, this is our time together, so we get to talk, we get to share, we get to have fun, okay? So definitely give yourself that moment. It's been all crazy as fuck. Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, it's interesting because it's a lot of, you know, it's Cancer, you know, Mercury's in Cancer. So we have a lot of like emotional stuff. My tits love to breathe too. Let's be honest. You know, they don't get enough, you know, breath work in. Challenge. Well, hello, robot. Welcome. I am so happy to see you. Like, I am. Well, hello, Michael. I'm doing awesome. I hope you are doing well also. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle some more, and I've been looking inward and developing more healthy. Good. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of like emotional shit, obviously, that's unearthing. And you know what? That's okay. You know, that's really okay. That's something that we have to, I think that we should choose to be more inviting towards, is our emotions, our empathy, our emotional foundations, our experiences. As the title is Mercury retrograde in Cancer, we're going to do a reading on lessons coming up and how to work with them. Well, hello, Elizabeth. But yeah, so I think it's a really powerful time for us to really focus in on our emotional experiences and our emotional foundation, because again, we are extremely empowered when we can process those emotions and not have judgment on what we are feeling. And Yeah, right. I hear you, Marley. Right. But it helps us. It helps us so much when we are honoring our emotional, you know, expressions. Um, when we honor that and we learn to not judge it, we learn to appreciate the variety of emotions and emotional outbursts that we have. When we learn to really enjoy that process, even if it's crazy. Well, hello to Sheena. I love your name. So when we learn to really embrace that and not judge it, just allow it to be what it is, we grow a lot, and we gain a lot from that. So I think that's a really good thing that this is. A lot of this stuff is coming up for us. Okay. I know things should be all kind of crazy with Mercury retrograde, but it's been amazing for me. That's good. That's good. It doesn't have to be crazy. Mercury retrograde doesn't have to be crazy. It's not always crazy. It can be intense. It can be wonderful. There's so many different things that pops up in regards to that. So yes. Okay. So let's get into this reading. So take some time, y'all. Take some time to focus in. And 1, 2, or 3, the first number that pops into your head, the first number that you see, the first number that you know, the first number that you feel, even the first number that you might taste. I don't know your dominant psychic experiences, but however you perceive the first number, 1, 2, or 3, go ahead and comment, or write it down. If you don't want to comment, that's absolutely fine. This is about your experience and our experience together. So if you don't feel comfortable commenting publicly, no problem. So 1, 2, or 3, go ahead and comment or write it down, and we're going to get into this reading. We're going to see what comes up. Right. And again, please remember, this is our time together, so we get to co-create. So hello, Mand May. Good to see you. But we get to share in this. So feel free to share your thoughts, share anything that pops up for you. So when you see a card, share. You have a voice, and I want to hear from you. So definitely share your thought process, share anything that pops up, because what you say and how you say something, it might be well received from someone who needs to hear it, right? Well, hello, Emlu. So this is our time. This is our time. It's not about me. It's not about any one of us. It's about all of us together. So I just want to express that, obviously, because I've been saying that for like 20 minutes now. But yeah. So 1, 2, or 3, one more shuffle. These cards are activated. I just want to really. Okay. All right. So 1, 2, and 3. Let's do this. And remember, 2 cards per. Oh, interesting. So per stack. Okay. Cool. Ooh. All right. Okay. So card 1. And so card 1, it represents, this is stack 1, okay? Stack 1, card 1. This card represents the lessons that we are learning, or the energy that Mercury in retrograde is uprooting for us right now, especially in Cancer, the emotional stuff. So just be aware of that. So this is the lesson, right? The lesson that is being unearthed, and the lessons that we are really reevaluating, reassessing, all that good shit, right? So that's what's coming up. The card is the Queen. The Queen, Lone Wolf. So before I show the card and read other aspects to it, what does that mean to you? What is the Queen, as lessons being unearthed and revisiting and reevaluating, the Queen, Lone Wolf? What is that saying to you? How does that make you feel? Well, hello, Donna. Good to see you. Donna, message me. Message the page. I have something for you. I've been trying to get a hold of you. So message me. So the Queen, Lone Wolf. What does that say to you? Here we go. Well, hello. It is the Queen. And this is lessons learned, lessons we are learning, lessons we are reevaluating. Well, hello, Faye. Lessons we are reassessing, right? And recognizing and learning more about our stance on things. So we have authority, we have caution, there's power in regards to the Queen, importance, right? An important role. Guarded, right? Guarded, psychic. One of my favorite tarot depictions is the Queen of Cups, very psychic, and new skills. New skills. I hear you, robot. I hear you, and I bet. So let's see. The Queen makes me think of self, especially as the lone wolf. What are we learning about ourselves and our independence? Okay. Someone who stands true to self. I like that. Absolutely. Let's see. Independence, power, freedom. I love that as well. So yeah, there's this commonality here. Shifts in perception. Yeah. And so with the Queen, so these, you guys, that's how I'm talking right now, apparently. This card is definitely expressing. It's lessons that we are assessing, right? Lessons that we are working with Mercury, our communication, in our emotions is coming up for us, right? And what does it have to do with? And it has to do with the Queen. It has to do with the lone wolf. It has to do with, look, we are in a place of power, right? The Queen, again, the Queen is an archetype. The Queen is a vibration that is emitted that we get to step into. And so the Queen is in charge, but she is a ruler, and she rules from the heart and emotions, but also from the mind. And so she's taking into consideration all of these things in one's life that needs to be sort of directed and guided. But we also feel alone. She can be the lone wolf because at times she is the bridge between, the king, or that type of energy, and let's say the community or children or whatever. So it puts you in a position where you feel maybe disconnected in some way. But that is very important to learn right now, that that's not a negative thing. That lone wolf energy, it doesn't mean that you don't have a pack. It doesn't mean that you are separate from other people. It just means that there's aspects that you are going through right now, things that are being unearthed right now, that you might have to do alone or process alone. Because when you have that lone mentality, when you have that lone wolf mentality, you realize like you're able to tune within and really figure shit out and really pay attention to the information that is being provided to you that is not necessarily the same way if you had been around outside distraction. Does that make sense? So tuning into our tuning into our inner voices, listening to what our inner voice is telling us. Absolutely. Lone wolf brings feelings of peace and contentment and really owning your solitude. I like that. Don't let your feelings overpower. Don't let your feelings overpower your power. That's powerful. Sugar. No sugar in my coffee. So I have been feeling alone. However, I feel I'm supposed to be alone to get to where I need to be spiritually. If I had people around, it would... Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly what I was just saying too. Yes. Yes. And we don't have to be alone forever, and we could be around a lot of people and still feel alone. And we don't have to feel negative about being alone or feeling alone. There is empowerment in being alone or being in solitude. There's strength as well. There's strength in that. And there's this energy that is coming up for those who chose stack one, the lessons that are being unearthed, right? The lessons that we are facing and reevaluating are how are we of importance in our life, right? What important role do we play in our reality, in our life? Again, it's different. What comes up for you will be different. Everyone is different, and that's okay. That's beautiful, actually. And what new skills do I need to implement, right? Do I need to implement to get me to where I know I need to be? Because I have an important role in my life. Does that make sense? I have an important role. It is up to me to discern that. And so I need to what the fuck is what am I trying to say? I need to not be distracted by outside source. I need to not be distracted by external influences. I must tune within. I must communicate with my soul. I must communicate with my emotions. I must learn to really navigate my reality, which can be a lone wolf type vibration. I need to learn to navigate for myself and not base it on external influences or what other people are saying or what other people believe about me. That doesn't matter. What matters most is my conviction to self, to the way I design my reality, right? And so that's what's coming up. It's like what new skills do I need to implement to get me to that success story for what that means. So instead of listening to what all these other people might be saying or their judgments or their perceptions on my life, right? Instead of listening to that, I must tune within and listen to me and really, really feel that out. And so that's like the beauty of this Mercury retrograde in Cancer. That's the lesson for stack 1. That is a lesson that is being exposed, so we can figure out how to step into our power of authority. Right? How to step into our power of channeling our emotions in a very powerful and potent way of authority, but not of anger. It's more about being able to step into a fulfilling role for ourselves of importance and be very aware of how we utilize that power and how we can, utilize it for our highest and best, and then how it is utilized in a sort of like a more chaotic space. And it's important that we blend that and we learn to step into that. Does that make sense? Okay. So there's that. And it's caution, because with the lone wolf, there is this cautionary expression where it's really important for us to understand it is okay for us to be alone. We do not have to be alone. But it is important for us to recharge, to rest, and to focus on our internal dialogue. And so the caution here is to be able to discern when you need to plug back in. So you do not have to distance yourself, really. You don't have to separate yourself completely. It's important that you realize it is vital to your existence that you still interact with your community. You still engage with people that matter to you. You still have conversations, but you also need to distinguish your own perception of things, your own emotions, your own beliefs and programming, and make sure that you follow back on your instincts, right? So that is the lesson, right? That's the lesson for stack 1. So now we're going to get into the second part of stack 1. The second part is to take action, right? The growth spurts, what can I do to grow with this? What can I do to take action now that we know that the Queen Lone Wolf is the lesson, the energy that's coming up to be reevaluated? Now we get to realize, okay, I can take action. There's baby steps or there's growth spurts that happen. So what can I do, right? And heart comes up. So what does heart mean to you? Blood on your hands. Heart, blood on your hands. Confusion. This is interesting. So confusion, deep emotional trauma, therapy, working through, and progress. So this is the heart card, right? So there's a little confusion here. So what can I do to take action? Deep emotional trauma, working through, there's therapy, and progress. There's blood on our hands, right? So I think that it's really, so with this, the lone wolf energy, we realize when we, hold on. So let me know what you think. I need a sip. So let me know what you think of heart and action step and growth spurt. What does that say to you? So, what I like about this card is the honesty of what it means to find your power, Marley, what it means to step into the beautiful soul that you truly are and to embrace your strengths as well as your challenges. And so, heart, blood on your hands, it helps us remember, it helps us remember, look, there are no innocent parties involved in our co-creative process. We are all responsible for what we put in. And so we realize as we step into and learn the lessons of the lone wolf, it is going to be very important for us to start to limit our exposure and our time invested with toxicity. And so that can be like really hurtful to us, because we will start seeing that, oh, I need to step away from this relationship, or I need to not expose myself to this individual or situation, because it is very hurtful to me, and more so, it's very dramatic, and it's triggering or flagging up things, activating things within me, my experience, that I don't want to carry to my future, right? Does that make sense? And so with the heart, blood on your hands, we realize the action step is to be very rooted in our participation of the life stories within and around us. And so if you are working to be a better person, better individual, then you realize that, you know what, it's important to have certain conversations, but it's also important to say, there's deep emotional trauma that is being unearthed, and I cannot participate in what it is activating, right? I'm not healing from this. And so the lone wolf helps me understand my power, the lessons of where I need to be strong, where I need to direct, where I need to have authority in my life, and say, no, that is not okay. I do not agree with your support. I do not agree with what you are doing. You can continue to do it because that is your right, that is your life, but I am not going to activate that in you, and I'm not going to allow myself to play a part or a role in that space. Does that make sense? And so I must choose myself in this situation, which means I must choose to take action in whatever specific way that means. We each have to discern that for ourselves, but I must choose to take action and limit exposure, cut ties, move forward. And that could be with ourselves too. We can't necessarily cut ties with ourselves, but we can, like, you know what, maybe I've been really, really negative, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but maybe I don't like the way I feel when I'm that way. And so I realize I have to learn to become a better person for myself. And so I'm focused more on the solution. I'm focused more on, doing better for myself, whatever that means. And so I'm giving myself that space to disconnect or distance myself away from my old programming as I learn to implement new programming, right? So sometimes when I go into solitude mode, I can become detached. The heart card reminds me to think and speak and feel from the heart. Yeah, absolutely. I've removed myself from a lot of toxicity in the past couple of months. Yeah, blue hair, I like it. So blood on your hands makes me like, damn, okay, what part did I play? What part am I still playing? This applies not only with wrongdoings, but also emotional motivations. Yes, I like that. That's really powerful. I like that because it's really challenging, because we realize, like, you know what, sometimes I don't want to be alone. So the lone wolf, we haven't found the empowerment from lone wolf. It's like, I don't want to be alone. So I want to, so we get into relationships, or we surround ourselves with people who are not necessarily in our highest and best. It doesn't make them bad people, but they aren't necessarily activating within us, and we are not necessarily activating within them the things that we really want in life to progress. Does that make sense? And so when we're in that space, sort of like the I guess you could say the lower vibration, or the more friction challenging aspect of the queen lone wolf, when we're in that vibration, we realize we are still activating deep emotional trauma. We are not letting go. We are not releasing. We are not forgiving ourselves for our participation. When we condone the behavior of other people, right, by just being a bystander, or by just being a friend to someone who is acting very, very terrible, or is supporting people that are very anti or hateful, then that says a lot. And we are still, even if they are nice to us, even if they are good to us, we see them hateful to people like us, right? How do we justify that? We cannot justify that, right? Does that make sense? And so that's what blood on your hands is activating. Like, oh, where am I condoning this? And so the action step here is to learn to be the empowered version of the lone wolf and the queen, to step into my authority and to be able to say, even though it hurts, just shook my tits, y'all. Shit. Even though it hurts, we have to, I'm sorry, but I'm not okay with this behavior. I'm not okay with this. And so we have to we choose to distance ourselves, right? And separate ourselves from that experience, because we do not need to activate it for us or them. Hopefully that makes sense. So take some time when you are activating the higher vibrational aspect of the lone wolf and the queen. You will understand. You will not be confused. You will not. It might be confusing for other people when they realize like you're not participating in their games or their projections anymore, but it won't be confusing to you. So have that sort of grounded approach. Know where you're coming from. Learn these lessons from Mercury retrograde in Cancer, and then start to apply them. Trust your heart, but know where there is blood on your hands and where you're activating and where you're being activated, right? So let's see. This card says to me to heal the soul, to stop the bleeding, to heal the mind, to heal the heart. I like that. To step forward into your true path, clearing the DNA for you and the next journey. I like that. That's interesting. Thank you. So that's step 1. Let's get into step 2. Okay. So hopefully, again, that makes sense. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to share those. But step 2, again, this is the lesson that Mercury retrograde in Cancer is unearthing that we're working through. Step 2, card 1 is Yule and rebirth. Yule rebirth. Longest night and shortest day, dark night of the soul and hope. So Yule and rebirth. So what does Yule express to you? How does it make you feel? What does rebirth mean to you? You know, what is hope in the dark night of the soul? So Mercury in this stack, for those who chose stack 2, Yule. So the lessons that are being unearthed is more about the understanding that we are going through a very transformative time. The lessons that we are reevaluating is our rebirthing process. Am I really making healthy decisions for myself? Am I really doing the work? Or is this a sort of fake rebirthing process, right? Well, hello, Carol. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I really appreciate it. Absolutely. So with the lessons, we know that there is this introverted vibration where we're looking within, and that light is sort of like going internal, right? And we're having more of this darkness experience, and dark night of the soul. It's like, okay, there's a lot of hefty, let's say hefty. There's a lot of hefty, deep and wonderfully chaotic and challenging experiences that are being unearthed, right? And so this emotion is bullshit. No, really, it's not. But it feels like bullshit. It feels like it's too much. Like it's very heavy, and it's like I don't know how to deal with this shit. It's too much. But there is hope. So there is hope that helps us see things through. And so the lessons here is to learn not to try and like deny the darkness. Do not deny your darkness. Do not deny your ignorance. Do not deny your ignorance, because I think darkness is a lack of information. Darkness can be our ignorance. Again, we all have ignorance. There's nothing wrong with admitting that. When we choose not to inform ourselves, that's where the problem is. But the lessons here for stack 2, those who chose this, are the things that are being unearthed right now is where are we ignorant in our life? Where are we lacking information? What is hurting our soul, right? What heavy or hefty, what hefty experiences are unearthing, and what am I going through? I can't answer that for you. That is something that you have to sort of, take the time to write out, right? Oh, Lisa, I'm so sorry. Oh, my heart's with you. That makes me sad. So, rebirthing. It's time to figure out what of the old programming, the reevaluation of who we are and what we are, what old programming is no longer in service to us. Who do we want to become? Where is our future? Who are we when we are a part of that future? Who do we become to step into the power of that future, of our perception of who we are in that space? Okay, cool. We have that information. So Yule and Rebirth is like, okay, so now let us be very aware of the toxic programming, of the programming that does not serve us, of the beliefs and of the systems that we had in place that were based on, on anger and hate and ignorance. When we are aware of that, we can now reevaluate that situation and look to bring more information into it so we can then become better for ourselves, better for our children, better for the those who come after. We want to bring healing into the world. It starts with us, right? Does that make sense? If we want to create change, if we want to create this atmosphere, we have to change ourselves, and we have to embrace it. And it is going to feel, let me be honest, you guys, it is going to feel like shit. I mean, the dark night of the soul is not called the dark night of the soul for no reason. It is not fun. It is not. But it is an adventure. It is worthy of us embracing it and allowing it to show us the things that are going on that need attention, that need more information, that need us to address and assess. Does that make sense? So, very grounding and nurturing for yourself. Yes. Thank you, Kat. Hello. Let's see. Okay, it's a scary step. Leap of faith, leave behind the trauma. Yes. Ooh, I like it. Sorry. I like that. So yes, leave behind the trauma that defines you. And what keeps popping into my head is activation. So let's just kind of sidestep here. So with this rebirthing process, right? Old program, old trauma. Let us not erase the fact that we have went through trauma. When we learn to forgive ourselves, accept ourselves, love ourselves, when we learn to have a different perception of the trauma that we have endured, the trauma that we have went through, when we disconnect from that trauma, please realize that is always a part of our story. But when we disconnect and when we realize we are going to put ourselves first, right? When we realize that we can love ourselves and work through this, we no longer activate that trauma. Does that make sense? And so that is that hope in the Yule card, the rebirthing process. We know that is still a part of our story. So we're not like turning a blind eye to it. We're not ignoring it, but we are saying, you know what? You are a part of my story. I understand this, but I am no longer choosing to activate you and allow you to be an active role in my current life and my active role in my ability to manifest and create for my future. So that. Ooh, yes, Jennifer. Sometimes it's comforting to live in that trauma. That's not healthy. So yeah, and I see that, it's easy at times to fall into that. Like, I went through this experience. This is my trauma. You don't know. And we don't know. Everyone's different. And no one is saying that we don't know. And no one's trying to tell you to not experience that. It is everyone's right to choose the life that they desire, to choose how they perceive, to choose how they engage. Absolutely. But it is, for me, it is not healthy to keep utilizing my trauma to stay in a space that is only bringing more activation to that trauma, because that doesn't feel good. I don't want to feel that way. And so I choose to work through. I choose for myself to find the tools necessary, right, to create better space for myself. So that is the lessons, right? So when faced with our own ignorance, we can learn and expand our experience, or we can blindly dismiss the education we are receiving, which is ultimately a reflection of our character. I like that as well. Yes. Yes. So yeah. So that's step 2 lesson. Now, step 2, like growth spurt action step, is the sun. This is actually hilarious. It works really well, right? So the action step, the growth spurt, is the sun. So you'll rebirth is the lesson. That's what's unearthing these heavy, like traumatic, deep-rooted experiences that we're working through. And so the sun is a card of growth spurt, the card of action step, baby steps, right? So what does the sun say to you, right? So our inner life force, that inner power, vitality, purpose, creative, self-confidence. Ooh, bitch. What is that saying to you? How does that make you feel? I like this shit. Yes, I swear a lot, so... yeah. The sun. What does the sun say to you? So, okay. The action step, the growth spurt here, is to take information from like this. What do you love? So are you a creative? Do you paint? Even if you can't draw a stick figure or whatever, you can't draw shit, but you like drawing. So what is your passion? What is your favorite form of expression? What do you love to do? Take that, okay, what you love to do. And so when you're going through that dark night of the soul, the hope is the sun. The hope is expressing yourself, channeling that energy, and apparently my tits are like on point today because I keep doing this. They're like shooting out. Sorry. But it's just sorry. But the sun is like, boom, like, here you go. Cat hair. Channel that energy. So channel the trauma, channel that rebirthing process via the vehicle, the mode of expression that you really love, right? Does that make sense? So dance, like if you love dance, yeah, as you're going through something challenging, as you're allowing for the energy to course through your body, as you're going through these old programs, then boom, right? Boom. Get, let's say you do dance. Start dancing, start channeling that energy and moving it through. And first of all, dance is awesome. I can't dance for shit, but dance is awesome. The cool thing about that is like you're moving the body. And so you're taking all of this energy. This is me dancing. So you're taking this energy and you're allowing it to move through your body, and it's not stagnant anymore. So the things that you're going through, that rebirthing process, is being activated, and now you're bringing movement into the body. So you're working it out. Does that make sense? And so that's what's going on. If you are a writer, a lot of times, like I used to write a lot. I used to go through a shit ton of emotions. And it would be really easy for me to just like feel those emotions and just write what I would call poetry, right? So I would just write, express myself. I would listen, I would feel it, I would channel it through me, and then I would just express. And a lot of people, if you've been with me since the beginning, you have read a lot of my stuff, you've seen it. And so I would channel all of that. And I do that to this day at times, not as much as I used to, but sometimes I listen to Mother Gaia. I listen to the earth. I listen to the spirits. And it's not necessarily my emotions, but it's energy that is coming through me, and I will channel, or coming to me and moving through me, and I channel and I release. So I write. Sometimes, if you're an artist that likes to paint or draw or whatever, you might take what you're going through, that rebirthing process, and you put it into your art. So with the sun, it is your life force, it is your purpose. It is boosting your confidence by working through the rebirthing process in an action-oriented way, right? So... you might not always intellectually understand something's effect on you, but you can always understand, let's see, how it made you feel. Trust that feeling. Yeah. So I like that. I really like that. Ooh, don't be Icarus. Baby steps to avoid burning. Yeah. Yeah. And there's this really great, okay. Yes. Okay. So in regards to what I've been talking about with all Black Lives Matter, Trans Lives Matter, all of that, there are going to be things, even as allies, even as people of certain communities, there are going to be things that we express that are going to be problematic. Okay, but it's a learning process. Just because like you say something and it's ignorant doesn't mean you should stop. Does that make sense? And so there's a rebirthing process. We have to learn to become better. We choose to learn to become better for ourselves and the world around us, right? And so just because we are met with like, oh, I said something that was offensive, and that we don't need to meet it with more offense. We don't need to meet it with more friction. We don't need to be like, that's it. I'm not going to be an ally. No, what we do here with the sun and Yule rebirth, it's like, okay, I'm understanding this information. I'm learning. I'm navigating. I'm trying to be a better person, and I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to focus on being better. So when I say things that are problematic, I will learn from it. I'm not going to be like absolutely like, oh my gosh, you suck for calling me out on that. No, I'm going to try to be better. I'm going to learn from it. Just because my intentions were not ill, right? My intentions were not negative. What I said may have been not the best. And so instead of being offended that someone is offended, I learn from that experience and I choose to grow. And I think that's where Yule rebirth and the sun, how they're co-creating together for stack 2. It's like, okay, let me learn about myself. Let me learn about my life. Let me learn about my darkness. Let me learn about these challenging things that are going on. And then let me apply myself. And yes, baby steps. Let me look to focus on the joy of growing and what I can do to channel this energy and still, apply myself every day to be a solution in my life. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you can appreciate that. Now let us get into stack 3. Okay, stack 3. The first card in stack 3 is the lesson. The lessons being unearthed by Mercury Retrograde in Cancer. Ooh, y'all, that bitch is hot. Union. Feel as one. So how does that make you feel? This is interesting. So union, feel as one. What does feel as one make you think of? So with union, we have teamwork. We have Gaia's heartbeat, right? Gaia's heartbeat, powerful. Coming together, understanding, and hive. Union. Feel as one. How does that make you feel? What pops up in your headspace? Feel free to share, please. We are all in this together. Absolutely. I really like this card. I like it. I like it a lot. And so union. And when it says feel as one, I really feel, I do. It's more about it's understanding that we are all interconnected, right? We are all a part of one another. Our essence is intertwined. And so what you think about other people, you think about yourself. How you treat other people, you treat yourself. How you treat yourself, blah, 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 right? Does that make sense? So it's important. Tap into the heart of Gaia, feel her vibration, and how are we connected? How does it feel to share space, to hold space with all of us, right? And we are not disconnected. We are not disconnected. Oh my gosh, my heart is with you, Elizabeth, as well. Again, I apologize if I say something offensive, Elizabeth. I just want to say you did not lose, right? You didn't lose someone. I try to say that. I try not to, because it's really tricky when we talk about, you know, people who have passed. I try to not be. I try not to. I try to be aware of how I'm saying things because I don't want to make light of anything and I don't want to bring more hurt. But I look at it this way: we do not lose people when they pass on, right? We're not losing anything. We are gaining in spirit. And so it's not the same thing, and it will never be the same thing, right? It's not, but we can appreciate or learn to as we go through that process. It's heavy, and I can't, right, say that I've been there. And even if I had been there, like, my experience is going to be different. And so it's important to realize that we are gaining in spirit, and the energy is shifted. We don't lose people, we gain in different ways. So things that are transcended, vibration is transcended, and we still have connection. We still have those memories. We still have the experiences of spirit, and it's not the same, but it also helps us, you know, work through. There's a book, oh shit, what is it called? It's called Healing Grief by James Van Praagh that you might be interested in when you're ready, if you get there, if it looks interesting to you. But that's actually a really good book that I would possibly suggest if you're open to receiving that. And in regards to that and the union, feel as one, it's like, you know what? Remember the feelings you have when you share that space, you know, that space with spirit, that space with those memories. It's okay. You're not alone. You are not alone, and you don't have to go through this alone. Anyone, right? We don't have to go through these things alone. We are here. We are of one. And so come together, be of service, show your support. I don't want people to be hurt. I don't want people to feel inferior. I don't want that. I don't like that. I want to focus on solutions. I want to uplift and amplify, and I want to make people feel good, right? So it is time to have understanding, right? So we are learning with this stack 3, for those who chose stack 3, the lessons here are learning to become one, learning to have better teamwork, learning to come together, to be supportive, learning to have better relationships, and putting ourselves in people's hearts and seeing how it feels from their perspective, right? Let's see. Do you ever get those moments and say, "Oh no, you didn't just say that, bitch"? Ever even growing and learning from that situation? Yeah, I say that too. I've said that to about myself. You know, like in past, I look back at where I've been and how I express myself. I'm like, "Bitch, who the fuck were you, bitch? What the hell? Like, you were some like toxic piece, really." But I appreciate all of it because I've learned so much from being that person and being who I am. So I love it. I'm trying to catch up. Sorry. So, oops, wrong one. Right here. So when faced with our ignorance, a natural emotional response is to be defensive, put that defensiveness aside, and hear the message to better understand what is needed from us. I like that. Yes, yes. And what's funny is I chose card 3, stack 3. I'm all about solitude these days. And of course, I choose the card that puts other people more solidly in the picture. Yeah. Well, it doesn't even, it's more about understanding that, you know what, and that goes back to the stack 1. It's like, we have to be very aware of solitude, where we are disconnecting from other people for the purpose of disconnecting, and just, you know, there's a chaotic, negative, however you put it, energy there when we are just trying to escape reality. So we need to understand that union and connection and relationships that grow are important. They help us remain healthy and in this world. Let's see. Oh, girl. Well, that changes things, doesn't it? My heart is still with you. I thought you meant like he passed. Technically, I guess that would still apply, right? Whew. It still applies. You know, Healing Grief would still be a good book. It just, you'd have to apply it differently. It's all of that still applies. But you know what? It's understanding that, you know what, you are still coming together. There's still this. You have support, right? So yeah, shoot. Let's see. Yes, we are all one. Sometimes I feel so alone, so isolated because of my beliefs, even in the pagan family. I refuse to follow and often march my music only I hear. Yeah, contact your local hospice. They have, okay, yeah. I misunderstood too. But still, good information to apply. Right. It's interesting because I've noticed, again, not to make light of your situation, but I've noticed a lot of relationships that have, that have ended in divorce the last few weeks and stuff like that. But it's I focus on and my sister is going through something similar. I'm trying not to be too descriptive, but I focus on the healing that will take place when ready, from that, the empowerment and the blessings of that, when you're ready, right? So union, the lessons here, teamwork. How can I learn to be a better part of a team, right? How can I learn to just tap into the feelings and the emotions of other people as we progress? What can I do to feel this? And how can we come together to create a solution in life? So what do I want to focus on in my life? What do I want to create? What do I want to do? How do I want to apply myself? And how can I bring teamwork? I realize I can't do this alone. I don't want to do this alone. I am the lone wolf, absolutely. I can trust my instincts, but being the lone wolf helps me to understand that where I'm in charge. So when I work with the team, I'm not in charge of the team, but I'm in charge of myself and how I participate in teamwork. Does that make sense? And so I have that mentality of the lone wolf. I have that vibration where, yes, I can direct this. I know what I want in life. I know where I'm going, but I'm also open to working with a team to help me get there. So it's almost like, hiring a personal trainer, because I know I can work out and I'm working out, but maybe I need to hire a personal trainer or a nutritionist to help perfect, because they can be on my team to help perfect my experience because they know more, they're whatever. So it's working together to create something that you want in your life, right? And so that's the lessons. How can we best be of service on a team? What is our thought process in regards to group work or coming together? How can we do that? How can we bring more of that? And this is really funny. So the action, the growth spurt, is romance. Romance. So what does that say to you? How does that make you feel? Romance. The growth spurt. Lust, love, erotica, sparks, creation, depth, and warning. How does that make you feel? What pops up? Okay. So, relationships can be challenging. Not can be. Relationships are challenging. So, romance is fun, is adventurous. And so hopeful. I like that. And so, okay, so this is what I am asked to share about romance. It's more so about the understanding that, you know what, we can look to have romance with ourselves. And I'm not talking about masturbation, which, if that's fine too, no judgment here. Fuck yourself, please. Hello. Please yourself. And that actually probably is. That's teamwork. Sorry. So that could be something that is healing. It really is healing for us when we are able to express that stress and really stress through our bodies, right? But really, with romance, lust, love, erotica, sparks, creation, depth, and warning, it's really important for us to look at ourselves and focus on loving ourselves and romancing ourselves, treating ourselves in that way. So maybe buy ourselves flowers, write ourselves a love letter. It could be for other people too, but right now I think it's important to focus on our participation in the whole. And everything sounds so naughty right now. Our participation as a group, right? Everything. But really, with romance, there's this really depth and beauty in regards to connecting with yourself as a lover, as a sensual person, as someone who is friendly and open and inviting and beautiful and luxurious and all of the wonderful romantic things. It doesn't have to be about someone else. But if romance triggers you, if romance brings up like really challenging stuff, that's a sign there as well. That could be like a sign to work through, like group healing in a way, like go through your relationships. Again, we co-create in relationships and work to learn the lessons from those relationships, learn what you need to work on for yourself and what to let go and release and heal, because that will help you stand in your own power. Right? So awesome. And okay. So it's really like, I don't know why I keep seeing like having like tea with yourself, like tea set, like just, enjoying yourself, enjoying who you are, learning to romance yourself and bringing that energy to the world and to what you create, right? Because romance is creation. So there's two movies that I suggest possibly watching. There's Chocolat, right? Chocolat for some reason. Chocolat and I keep talking about this movie, Mistress of Spices. If you watch those, I don't know, there's something in there that would really help with the romance. And it's about healing yourself as a part of the whole, a part of the interconnection that we share. So understanding that we can be very sensual and flirty in everything that we do, right? And applying ourselves. So learning to love who we are and to really, be fun and fuck whatever other people say, how we should behave. We get to choose how we behave. We get to choose who we are. And so by understanding our hangups in regards to romance, especially romance in regards to others, it will help us work through things. As it will help us work through things and bring healing to our life, and we better and perfect ourselves in our ability to be romantic, right? And so it's important to look in the mirror and love who we are and learn to love who we are and work through why we can't or why we have challenges there. And again, it's easier for me to love others than myself. Well, if you can look at this card as, union, group work, feel as one. If you can love others, then you can love yourself, because we are all interconnected. So when you share love for others, channel that energy and start feeling as interconnected as one. So when you share love with others, you are sharing love with yourself. So it will help you direct that love towards yourself. Know that as you love others, as you bless others, as you share with others, you are also sharing with your reality. And so you are not directing that energy out to an outside source. You are also you're not just directing, you're directing it towards an internal force as well. So as you love someone else, you love yourself. So same thing, as you love yourself, you share that with the world. So it's not just like internal, external, it is external, internal. So be mindful of that. I really like this. It's a little intense in regards to relationships, but it's also helping us realize like the lessons here are group work, coming together, showing support, our relationships with ourselves and other people, and bringing a little romance to an understanding of the sparks in our life, like being open to having romance. And romance doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't necessarily mean a relationship. It doesn't have to mean something super like fuckable. It could mean just romance as in like having fun, flirty energy with yourself, and watching a romantic movie, taking a sensual bath, stuff like that, treating yourself nicely. That could be a romance thing, right? So it doesn't have to mean like a relationship or fucking someone. It could be so many different things. Self-care can be romance. So Be mindful of that, okay? Sorry, my voice is going. So I like the cards. Excuse me. I really like the cards. It's important now, especially for stack 3, to be of service and to bridge the gap, to heal your group work, and to be mindful of how you participate in your group, in your circle, right? Your ability to be mindful of your participation changes everything. Woo. Hopefully that makes sense, y'all. So these are the stacks, right? The 3 stacks, and helping us to work through the Mercury retrograde in Cancer, the lessons that are unearthing, as well as some sort of growth spurts and action routines, action steps that we can take to empower and utilize, right? Let's see. Could the cards together mean that he could come back and realize that what he's lost means people is it personally? Elizabeth, I'm not a professional in that sense. And I think that anything that I want to say is going to be personally, just realize anything that I'm saying right now is probably a little more personal in my opinion, right? I guess everything's my opinion, but I really think that with this, it's more about you. It's more about you focusing on you and realizing, like, in a relationship, if someone chooses to walk out, if someone chooses to leave, that is on them. That is their shit. That is what they're going through. That is not you. You get to focus on you. You get to focus on your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your children. You don't have to be mindful. I know it's challenging. I know it's really annoying. And I'm very passionate about this right now, especially with, how personal it is to me. It is about you. So fuck the person who chose to no longer fuck that person who chose to leave. That is on them. Whatever happens after, you can grow, but whatever happens after, that was what happens after. So if that party chooses to come back, it is about you choosing. Do you choose to allow that back? But it's more important that you focus on your growth, your healing, and figuring out those pieces right now. So it is about your empowerment. It is about where you are right now. I know it sucks. I know it's challenging. And all I'm saying is these words, but it is not about the other person, because they made their choice. They made their choice when they walked out. They made their choice when they stepped out and whatever, So they're going through something. They need to do whatever they need to do. And so as they're doing that, you also need to do what you need to do. I'm not going to judge. It's not my place to judge whether you come together again or not. I know that we usually we want that, because it's like there's so much that happens when that energy is broken. Like, who am I now? What do I have to do? I have these kids to provide for. What's going on? There's so many things that I just am not equipped to really handle. So I apologize for that. But this is my very passionate opinion. It's important that you do self-work and you figure out all of those questions and work to heal yourself in your relationship and your relationship to self, and bring that romance in for yourself, right? And whatever happens after, you will be more grounded in who you are. You will be more equipped to respond. So as you learn to become the lone wolf, and you realize you are a powerful being and you have the higher vibrational expression of the lone wolf, and that it takes two. It obviously takes two in a relationship. But you own yourself, you own your space, and you own your responsibilities and where you were in a relationship. And as you become better, as you rebirth, and as you learn to heal the group dynamic, right? As you do all of that, if it is even considered an opportunity, if that comes up where, hey, you might get together, you are now in a better space to discern if that's what you really want or not, based on not your fear, but based on your authenticity, based on your healing process, and based on all of this stuff. So when you learn to really empower yourself and whatever that means for yourself, when you learn to step into that, And if we call it an opportunity, if that situation comes where, okay, do we want to get back together? You are better equipped to say, you know what, this is what I really want. And this is based on these things. It's not based on my fear. It's based on what I really feel. So yes, I'm going to try this. Or you can be like, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't fit well, right? So no, I'm okay. So take some time for yourself to build yourself up, to heal, to work through the things that are coming through. And no, yes, it takes two and others as well. But you're not alone. Okay. So if that means, hey, coming together again, it might. And no judgment. I'm not going to judge. That's not my place. But I am more invested into you and building you up. So that's just something to consider, my long ramble. Again, y'all, I really do appreciate you all being here and sharing space. And if you want to support us keep doing these, feel free to check out the links in my description. You can do so by donating if you want, or using my Amazon wish list, or none of that. You can also just really engage with me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, engage with me on Facebook, find me on Instagram, all of it, all of it helps. I love talking. I love sharing with you. I hope that you can utilize this information and just create a better space for yourself, right? Do so, okay? So I look forward to our next time together. And at any moment, if you need help, if you have suggestions for future videos, please feel free to message me. Let me know. I'll be happy to do more videos on things that you want to hear about, if I can. If it's something that I just can't, like I don't know about, I won't. I'm not going to pretend. So again, thank you so much. Be blessed. Have fun. And, keep focusing on your happiness. It's in the description of the YouTube video. Yes. So I'm going to go now. I'm melting. Blessed be.